Democrats. You are gangsters. You are gangsters. You.
You're a little punk. You're a softy. You're a nobody. Your movie sucks. You're trash. You're trash. You're done. You're done after this, guys.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Robert De Niro being sent to the Trump trial in New York City to campaign for Joe Biden. Now, before we get into what happened and the fallout and the protests from Trump supporters against Robert De Niro, I got to back up a little bit and give him a little bit of credit. That's right. I'm going to give Bobby De Niro a little bit of credit. You see, at least they're admitting that they're out there campaigning for Joe Biden. I did a video about him before talking about similar things on The View, and there was no mention of him being out there representing Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or anybody from the campaign. But now he's out there with Michael Fanone, a former D.C. police officer, and Harry Dunn, a former Capitol police officer, guys who really go out there and talk about J6 all the time. He went out there with those guys for the express purpose of campaigning for the Biden administration. We all know what's happening in New York City, the whole Stormy Daniels, hush money trial, a bunch of nonsense, political witch hunt, lawfare, kangaroo court, banana republic. We all know what it is. So the Biden team sent them out there to campaign for Biden and make everybody remember January 6th. That's their thing that they're riding on. They have been riding on for the past 3, almost 4 years. And right when J6 happened, I called it. I said they would ride on it for years and years and years. And here it is. They got Bobby De Niro out there. Now, I'm sure they're being paid. I don't think Michael Fanone and Harry Dunn and everybody else is out there for free. Okay, the team, they're not just traveling on their own dime. I'm sure they're being paid a little something to be out there stumping for Biden. Now, there's a lot we got to get into. We got to get into some of the videos from the actual event. All right, this happened today, which is Tuesday, May 28th, 2024, not 2014, as I said in the previous video, which is a different story, and I digress. Here we have Bobby D and Michael Fanone and everybody else out there walking, and you see Bobby still got his mask on for whatever the reason may be. I don't know why, but let's just watch some of this.
I was like, what is
So if you can't hear the person in the background who is heckling Robert De Niro, he says, walk the streets by yourself. So all these guys, this is Biden's team. The big guy behind him, that's Harry Dunn. He is a former Capitol police officer. And somewhere in this mix is Michael Fanone, if I'm not mistaken. There he is right there behind my man with the suit and the glasses with the salt pepper hairline right there to the center right. There he is right there with the blue jeans. Okay, you had your mask on, now you're taking it off. For what reason? What's the purpose of doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Now, of course, there's more. This guy right here, I'm not really sure who he is, what his name is, but I guess he's out there to be answering questions about the campaign that they had for the Biden administration. And he's not doing a very good job of answering questions. Ilhan Omar, what's her name? This is basically Karine Jean-Pierre's surrogate.
Is President Trump a threat to all these wars Biden has gotten us into?
Any media questions?
Is this a weaponization of the Justice Department, sir?
Any media questions?
You want to answer the real questions, only the fake news?
What does media questions mean? You just want to get questions from specific news outlets. You don't want to get real questions from people who are out there in the crowd asking questions. Because I think at a certain point when he says media questions, quote unquote, that might point to these kind of things being choreographed. Okay, I'm only going to answer questions from people who ask that are on the approved list. That's kind of what's going on. You got to pre-ask the questions. Now, here is part of Robert De Niro's 10-minute speech. And if for some reason you want to see that, I'll link to it in the box. But you can see there's Harry Dunn, my big man, looking like Suge Knight, looking like what's my man from the Batman series, the big dude that wear the white leather sport coat. You know what I'm talking about. And then you have Michael Fanone right there. And here is Bobby D.
Under Trump, this kind of government will perish from the earth. I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave.
Now, that's the dumbest thing that they talk about when they reference Trump coming back in. If Trump was never going to leave, then he wouldn't have left in 2021, but he did leave. So it doesn't make any sense. So he left in 2021, but if you realize him, he's not going to leave, it makes no sense. These are people that they're just really targeting those who believe this rhetoric. Your friend, your aunt, your meemaw, or whoever who watches MS-13 DNC all day, they believe this nonsense. He's out there to just reinforce what they've already been programmed to believe. Now, let's keep on going. Here is some more of the speech. Again, it's like I won't play the whole thing. It's like 9 minutes, but you see the headline here. Robert De Niro, former police officer, slammed Trump outside New York hush money trial. De Niro and the officers spoke at a Biden campaign event. And by the way, they're in closing arguments for this case, so we should be getting the verdict pretty soon. I don't know when. I don't think it'll be today, but I think it'll be pretty soon. Could it be this week? I have no idea. If you have an idea of when a verdict could come about, let me know in the comments. But let's keep on rocking with this piece here. I'm starting kind of in the center because of time.
I hope this new ad campaign reaches outside the bubble to remind supporters of what a danger he is to our lives.
And by the way, I think at a certain point, somebody started the car alarm in the background to disrupt the speech. Whoever you are, shout out to you. You're doing fantastic work.
This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president. Really. We don't have a choice.
Now, clearly reading from a sheet of paper. Now, I'm wondering if this was written for him or if he wrote it himself. I'm willing to bet that this was written for him, and he's just reading a sheet of paper right now. All right, Robert De Niro. Look, we want you to go outside of the trial with a couple of guys. We're going to give you this sheet of paper to read. You're going to talk for about 10 minutes, and we're going to give you X amount of money. That's what I'm thinking happened here.
On January 6th, while Republican lawmakers despicably tried to keep the loser Trump, in the White House, and Trump-inspired insurrectionists stormed the Capitol, brave men and women from law enforcement put their lives on the line to defend this country, our democracy.
And by the way, Big Man is running for Congress, so everybody has something to gain here. I'm pretty sure that all those who are from the Biden administration, including these, the three stooges, the three amigos, I'm sure that these guys are being paid. Everybody's being paid. Everybody got something to gain, whether you're promoting something, promoting yourself, getting money, or all the above.
They are the true heroes. These guys are the true heroes. They stood and put their lives on the line for these lowlives, for Trump.
For these lowlives. So are we doing the whole deplorables thing? Is that what we're doing? Are we talking about the same thing Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, did when she said that all those who went to the rally in the Bronx were clowns? Are we doing that? I hope not, but I think that he is.
They lied under oath.
They lied under oath. Right. Who lied under oath? What are you telling me?
Those two traitors behind you.
Excuse me?
Those two traitors behind you.
They lied under oath?
That's right.
What are you saying?
What do you mean, what are you saying? You heard exactly what he said. He said that those two guys behind you, Harry Dunn and Michael Fanone, they lied under oath. That is what he's saying. Now, notice Robert De Niro is not going to say, no, they didn't and defend him, because he can't say that. He knows he can't say that. He's intelligent enough to know you can't just say, oh, no, they didn't, because maybe they did.
They're traitors.
They're traitors. You got I don't know. I don't even know how to deal with you, my friend. I don't even know how to deal with you.
You know how to deal with them just by ignoring it and not even really addressing it like you just did, because you know that he could be telling the truth. Now, there's more to this. I'll link to the whole thing in the box, but this thing was a complete dumpster fire. And before we end, let's hear from Carolyn Levitt, her response to all the nonsense from the Biden administration outside the Trump trial. Check it out.
What you just heard from is a desperate and failing and pathetic campaign who knows that they are losing. Joe Biden's sending his campaign outside of this criminal courthouse. It is a full-blown concession that this trial is a witch hunt that comes from the top, comes from Joe Biden, and he is using a far-left district attorney in this city, Alvin Bragg. This case would have been laughed out of any other courtroom in America. Legal scholars on both sides of the aisle, even liberal legal scholars, agree there is no crime, there is no case. But Joe Biden knew he could use Alvin Bragg, who is sitting in that courthouse today, wasting away the tax dollars of the hardworking people of this city, to go after Joe Biden's political opposition. And the man overseeing this case is a corrupt and highly partisan and crooked judge who is highly conflicted for reasons that President Trump can't even talk about, because this judge imposed an unconstitutional gag order on the former president of the United States and the leading frontrunner in this election. This is a disgrace. President Trump has been locked up in that courtroom for 6 weeks, but guess what? The American people see through this witch hunt and this scam, and that's why President Trump continues to rise in the polls. That's why he pulls a crowd of more than 25,000 in the deep blue Bronx. That's why he pulls a crowd of more than 100,000 in deep blue New Jersey. Everywhere he goes, everyday Americans, not elitist, out-of-touch Hollywood actors like Robert De Niro, who have no idea the real problems that people in this city and across this country are facing. President Trump is backed by the hardworking men and women of this country, and I could not help but laugh when Joe Biden's spokesperson actually came out here and said, accused President Trump of being the threat to democracy. Joe Biden is the real threat to democracy. He is weaponizing our justice system. Look at all of you. This is a communist show trial. There are real problems in America, and you are all out here covering this because Joe Biden is weak, he's pathetic, he's a threat to democracy, not only with this weaponization of our justice system, but with his wide open border invasion that is allowing a mass invasion of illegal people into this country. Terrorists, criminals, our economy is in shambles. We are heading towards World War III. Those are the issues real Americans care about. That is why President Trump is going to win this election, and ultimately he will be vindicated of this sham crooked trial because he has the truth on his side and he is an innocent man.
Very well said. Shout out to her, Caroline Levitt. I couldn't have said it better myself. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everybody who understands what this trial is. It ain't nothing but kangaroo court, political lawfare, a bunch of nonsense, banana republic, just trying to keep Trump off the campaign trail. And ultimately, it'll go nowhere. There's going to be a verdict soon. I'm not sure if it'll be this week, next week, today. I have no idea, but it'll be soon. And I don't expect Trump to go to the penitentiary to make big rocks into little rocks anytime soon. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the Trump trial and Robert De Niro, Michael Fanone, and Harry Dunn? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. The Biden administration can try all they want, but they're going to fail to keep Trump out of the White House, to keep Trump off of the minds of people, to keep Trump out of people's ballot boxes. They're not going to be able to do it. They're trying and they're failing, and it's pretty obvious they're grasping at straws and they're desperate. Ultimately, not going to work. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.